Hello! It is that time of year again. It is time for the Goodreads Choice Awards, and today is the 15th of November, and the initial, I suppose the long lists have been announced. So I thought that I would do a little reaction, because I am once again going to do the Goodreads Choice Award reading challenge that I've done the last 2 years, I think it's been. I don't know which categories I'm going to do just yet, but we will find out through the course of this video, I think. So let us find out what we've got. I'm not going to screen record because every time I try to do that it really just gets messed up whenever I try to edit it. So I'm just going to react in this clip, and I will figure out a way to put the options on screen. Speaking of which, I should probably leave myself a little bit of space to do that. So there we go. Right, so fiction, I'll run through it briefly, but I'm probably not going to know many of these because fiction really isn't my genre. So This Time Is Tomorrow, Lucy by the Sea, Notes on an Execution I've actually heard of but I haven't read, Now Is Not the Time to Panic, The Winners, Olga Dies Dreaming, Demon Copperhead, Wish You Were Here, Remarkably Bright Creatures, How Not to Drown in a Glass of Water, True Biz, Other Birds, Honour, Night Crawling, Our Missing Hearts, The Hotel Nantucket, Mad Honey, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, which I have heard of. I actually do fancy reading that one, but I haven't yet. To Paradise, Cleopatra and Frankenstein. So I knew of a grand total of 2 from that category. So moving on to Best Mystery and Thriller. So we have The It Girl by Ruth Ware, heard of, haven't read. Killers of a Certain Age, I think I've heard of that. The Maid, I recognise that cover. The Night Shift, don't know that one. The Bullet That Missed is the newest Thursday Murder Club book. I have seen that around. The Housemaid, nope. Jackal, I've seen that cover. A Flicker in the Dark, no. Things We Do in the Dark, no. The Golden Couple, no. Wrong Place, Wrong Time, The Book of Cold Cases, no and no. The Paris Apartment, I have heard of. The Overnight Guest, no. The Violin Conspiracy, More Than You'll Ever Know, All Good People Here, The Family Game, Daisy Darker and The Family Remains, none of which I have heard of, although there are some authors on there I have heard of. So moving on to historical fiction. I'm not even going to bother reading these out because I can almost guarantee that I have not heard of any of these. It's not a genre I gravitate towards at all, either in the books that I read or the channels that I watch. Oh, Carrie Soto Is Back. I have heard of that. Of course, the new Taylor Jenkins Reid book. I don't ever think of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books as historical fiction, but they are. Recent historical fiction, but still. Lessons in Chemistry, I have actually heard of that one too, but that's it. Then fantasy, the reason we're all really here, at least on my channel. So let's see. Ooh, I feel not nervous, but you know, anticipation. Let's see. So The World We Make, which is the second book in N.K. Jemisin's Great Cities series, not surprised to see that there. Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, that's been pretty popular this year. The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson, which came out today, just makes the cut-off. And yes, in case you're wondering, I have started reading it. The Golden Enclaves, which is the last Scholomance book by Naomi Novik. A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross has been popular this year. Kai, yes, not surprised. House of Sky and Breath, not surprised. Thistlefoot, that's one I've been wanting to read. I didn't actually expect to see that on here because I haven't heard a huge amount about it. The War of Two Queens, which is Blood and Ash book 4. I didn't even know that was out. So that goes to show how much we've heard about that one. The Book Eaters, I have read. The Stardust Thief, I have heard a lot about but have not read. Electra in fantasy? I would have put that in historical fiction, to be honest, but whatever. Ordinary Monsters has been a big one. Fairy Tale. Now, that's good, by Stephen King, because honestly I thought that they were just going to end up putting Stephen King in like horror or thriller, because that's where he usually goes, when Fairy Tale is very clearly a fantasy book. So that's good. Daughter of the Moon Goddess. I mean, it's good that it's in the correct category. Daughter of the Moon Goddess, I have read. Babel, that was very obviously going to be here. When Women Were Dragons. I actually haven't heard loads about that. I have it. I haven't read it yet, but I have it. Legends and Lattes. Yep. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. The Atlas Six. Okay. So not a huge amount of surprises on there. I suppose Electra is the most surprising, because I really would not have put that in this particular category. But in general, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. And to be honest, this is most likely the category that I will, well, I'm almost definitely going to do the reading challenge with this category. Whether or not I do it with any other categories remains to be seen. But if we run through it from the perspective of how many things I would need to read if I were to do this category. So I wouldn't read Great Cities #2 because I DNF'd the first book. Nettle and Bone, I've yet to read. The Lost Metal, I'm currently reading, so let's just ignore that one. Golden Enclave, Scholomance Book 3, I've DNF'd that series, I don't plan to continue. A River Enchanted, I planned to read anyway, I haven't read yet. Kai Kai, same thing. House of Sky and Breath, I haven't read yet, but I planned to read it and I figured it would be on this list, so I thought I might as well read it for this. Thistlefoot was also, am I counting this right? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. So Thistlefoot is 5. I was planning on reading it anyway. The War of Two Queens, I'm not up to date on Blood and Ash. I'm not going to rush to catch up just for the purposes of this. Book Eaters, I've already read. Stardust Thief, I have planned to read but have not yet read. Electra, I had not planned to read that one at all. So that's 7. Ordinary Monsters, I have been wanting to read. Fairy Tale, I've been wanting to read. Daughter of the Moon Goddess, I have already read. Babel, wanting to read, haven't read. When Women Were Dragons, same thing. Legends and Lattes, same thing. Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches and The Atlas Six, I have read. So that is 12. Now we only end up with a top 10 in the final round. I don't actually know when the final round is, so I'll have to check that in a second. I'm not going to manage to read all 12, I don't think, so I might make some educated guesses as to what's going to be in that top 10. Well, let's see, what do I think? I think the N.K. Jemisin will be, I think Sanderson will be, I think Novick will be. I think Kai Kei has been very popular this year, so I would expect to see that there. Sarah J Maas, definitely. Thistlefoot I haven't heard loads about, so I can't imagine that will get there. Jennifer L. Armentrout, possibly. The Book Eaters, not sure that will. Stardust Thief, probably will. Electra, I don't know, because I don't think that belongs on this list anyway, so whether or not it ends up in the top 10, I'm not sure. Ordinary Monsters, it could. Stephen King, I think, probably will. Babel definitely will. Daughter of the Moon Goddess, possible. When Women Were Dragons, I doubt it. Legends and Lattes, definitely. Atlas Six, definitely. Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, I think it should, because I really liked that, but I'm not sure that it will. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. The next category is romance. So this is another one that I think potentially I might be interested in doing the challenge, but I would definitely only do it based on the top 10, and it would entirely depend on how many. So let's find out what's in this category. Hook, Line and Sinker by Tessa Bailey. Yeah. Every Summer After, I haven't heard of. Dating Dr. Dill, I have heard of. Things We Never Got Over, haven't heard of. Twisted Hate, nope. Love on the Brain, Yes, read it, liked it. Delilah Green Doesn't Care. Yes, read it, liked it. Reminders of Him, Colleen Hoover, not necessarily surprising, although I didn't actually realise that that was a new Colleen Hoover, but anyway. Electric Idol. I haven't read that one, but I did read the first book in the Dark Olympus series by Katie Robert, and I'm not necessarily surprised to see that there. It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. Book Lovers by Emily Henry. That's not surprising that it's there. Thank You for Listening by Julia Whelan. I've never heard of. You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emeze. Not surprised to see that one there. Funny You Should Ask. Never heard of. The American Roommate Experiment. Yeah. The Wedding Crasher. Yeah. The Kiss Curse. I didn't even know that there was a sequel to the XX. Shows what I know. Part of Your World. No. The Bodyguard. No. Terms and Conditions. There are actually quite a lot on that list that I have never even heard of. So, anyway. Science fiction is the next category. It's possible that I would do this one, if not the romance one. Probably don't have time for 3. But science fiction can be very hit or miss for me. So, let us see. Hunt the Stars. I actually wanted to read that. I haven't yet, but I have wanted to. Mickey 7. Never heard of it. Sleepwalk. Never heard of it. The Measure. Nope. Lost in Time. Leech. Dead Silence. The Keiju Preservation Society. Self-Portrait with Nothing. Haven't heard of any of those. The Genesis of Misery. I've seen that cover. Leviathan Falls. I didn't know that there was a new book in that, the Expanse series, but I've heard of the series, of course. Atomic Anna. No. Nona the Ninth. Yeah. Primitives. How High We Go in the Dark. I do actually want to read that. Ocean's Echo. I would like to read. The Daughter of Dr. Moreau. I've heard of. Sea of Tranquility. I've heard of. Station Eternity. No. And Upgrade by Blake Crouch. I have heard of. So very mixed on whether or not I've heard of those books, but it's not my main genre, to be honest. Moving on to horror. So we have, I'm really not going to know many of these, so I think I'll just scroll down and let you know if by some miracle I have read any of these. I've heard of some of them, like I've heard of We Spread, I've heard of The Hacienda, House of Hunger, What Moves the Dead, Juniper and Thorn. I didn't think that was horror. I actually want to read that one, but no. That's it. And to be honest, the only reason I even know that many is because I watch Kayla's channel, Books with Lala. She's one of my favourite creators. So, humour, I never know anything in this category, so let's just scroll down it. Can confirm I don't know any of those books. Non-fiction, again, highly unlikely that I'm going to recognise any of these. Really not a genre that I read in or pay attention to be honest. Nope. Oh, actually, What If 2. I do recognise that one because Lee wants it for Christmas. Memoir and autobiography. Same again. So probably not going to be familiar with any of these. Oh no, I'm Glad My Mum Died. Obviously I've heard of that one, but that's it. History and biography. No, I'm not going to know any of these. Nope. Graphic novels and comics. Let's see. Welcome to St. Hell, My Trans Teen Misadventure. I haven't heard of that. I feel like I recognise the cover though. Many Deaths of Layla Starr. Saga Volume 10. Heartstopper Volume 4. I didn't think that was out within this period, but oh well. Chef's Kiss. No. Demon in the Wood. Lee Bardugo. Yeah. Huda F. Are You? That's funny. I haven't heard of it, but that's funny. Fangirl Volume 2. No. Squire. No. Everything is Okay. No. A Career in Books. A novel about friends, money and the occasional duck bun. Lore Olympus Volume 2. Yes. Oddball. Crumbs. Messy Roots, a graphic memoir of a Wuhanese American that I have read in a vlog. In fact, if I can remember, I will link it. Thieves, Ducks, It Won't Always Be Like This, Killing, Stalking, and Wash Day Diaries. So not many of those that I've heard of, although Wash Day Diaries, that sounds fun. I'm presuming that is about wash day for curly hair, or probably more specifically black hair patterns. So anyway, next, poetry. I will not have heard of any of this. Can confirm, I have not heard of any of those. Debut novel, this one's always an interesting category because there tends to be some repetition, so let's see what happens with this one. Our Wives Under the Sea, not familiar. Jackal we've seen before, Cleopatra and Frankenstein we've seen, Daughter of the Moon Goddess we've seen, A Flicker in the Dark, Memphis, Remarkably Bright Creatures, Every Summer After. No, Olga Dies Dreaming we've seen. Violin Conspiracy, did we see that? Night Crawling, maybe. Kai Kai, yes. Thistlefoot, yeah. How High We Go in the Dark. I didn't realise that was a debut. Okay. The Maid, didn't know that was a debut. The Measure, that was in another category, I can't remember which one. Black Cake. The Hacienda was in horror, I think. Lessons in Chemistry was in historical fiction. And All Good People Here. I can't remember, I recognise the cover, so maybe we saw that somewhere, but I can't remember where. Then we have young adult fiction. I'm definitely not going to be doing any of the young adult categories this year. If you've been following my channel, then you will know that I've been having a little bit of a rough time with YA recently, so we're on a break. But young adult fiction, let's see, I have heard of All My Rage. Loveless. Oh, I guess that's here because it's just been released in the US. That's an interesting one because that book has actually been out for a few years now. And it's just a re-release in a different territory. But I guess Amazon is American, so hey, there we go. Weight of Blood, I have heard of, haven't read, but have heard of. I didn't realise that was YA, actually. I thought that was adult, but oh well. My Mechanical Romance I have seen around. The Final Gambit I have read. The First to Die at the End is the Adam Silvera. No, Nothing More to Tell. I don't think I realised there was another Karen M. McManus. Oh well. Oh, there's two! You'll Be the Death of Me. 2 Karen McManus books on this list. Interesting. Ooh, Anatomy, A Love Story by Dana Schwartz. I thought that was adult. It gets sold in the adult section in the UK, and I was actually planning on reading that soon, so that's interesting. I Kissed Shara Wheeler, that is on my TBR. And that's it, those are the main ones that I am familiar with. The next category I should be a little bit more familiar with, which is YA fantasy sci-fi. So I may have read some of these, but again, I'm not going to be doing this category as part of this challenge this year. So we have Cursed by Marissa Meyer. Not surprised that's there actually. I hadn't thought of it, but makes sense. Gallant, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, The Ballad of Never After. None of those are a surprise. Although I'm really glad to see The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea there. It has been a big release this year. Foul Lady Fortune, the latest Chloe Gong. Not surprised by that. Cytonic. I would have thought that would be in last year's. Maybe it missed the cutoff for last year. Anyway, that's there. The Dragon's Promise, which is the sequel to Six Crimson Cranes. I haven't read it yet, but I do want to, and I'm not surprised that's there. The Sunbearer Trials by Aidan Thomas. I hadn't heard of that, but again, I haven't been following YA stuff for the second half of this year. Violet Made of Thorns, I have heard of because I got it in a box. Belladonna, again, I thought was an adult, and I think I have it on my adult shelf. I do. I have it on my adult shelf. I think it's sold in the adult section in the UK. Anyway, Hotel Magnifique. Yeah. Magic Steeped in Poison. Controversial. I didn't actually love that. I read it. It was fine. These Twisted Bonds. I didn't think that the first book in that duology or series or whatever it is was that popular, but hey. All That's Left in the World. Haven't heard of that. Bloodmarked, which is Legendborn Book 2. Definitely not surprised to see that here. Kingdom of the Feared, the last book in the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy by Kerry Maniscalco. Not surprised to see that here. Only a Monster possibly a bit surprised to see that there. If You Could See the Sun, not familiar. So This Is Ever After, not familiar. And This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Murphy. Also not surprised to see it here, but do I have that on my... Oh no, I must have known that that was a YA book because I have it on my YA shelf, but I have to say, I think in my head that I thought this was adult. Anyway, so yeah, some crossover stuff, which that's a whole discussion in and of itself, isn't it? I feel like books in the YA category are getting progressively older and older in terms of content, themes, writing, and this line between YA and adult is getting very, very murky. And, you know, there's not... some of them I don't really know much about, but I don't think there's a lot on this list I would give to a 13-year-old. Like, it wouldn't be inappropriate for a 13-year-old, but I don't know that it's necessarily what a 13-year-old would be drawn to. So, anyway, final category, I think, middle grade and children's. So we have a picture book, This Is Not Enough, haven't heard of that one. Stella Loon, yay! Latest Keeper of the Lost Cities book just came out last Tuesday. Witchlings, I don't think I realised that was this year either. I Am Able to Shine, picture book. How to Heal a Griffin, I think that looks like a picture book. Ravenfall, haven't heard of that one. Aru Shah, book 5. Not surprised to see that there. The Best Gift for Bear, haven't heard of. The Pennymores and the Curse of the Invisible Quill, that sounds cute. Amari 2, that's expected. Bastille versus the Evil Librarians, Alcatraz book 6. So that means that Sanderson has books in 3 categories this year. Zachary Ying and the Dragon Emperor, I really want to read that. I haven't got around to it yet, but I really want to read that, by Shiran J. Zhao. New from here, Small Town Pride, The Elephant Girl, Rise of the School for Good and Evil, that I'm not surprised by that. The Marvellers, I Am Quiet, The Ogress and the Orphans, and The Girl in White. So not a huge amount that I'm familiar with. I have done the middle grade and kids book categories. In fact, I think I did that last year. I don't know that I'll do that again because I'm so fussy about middle grade books that I read, and I feel like it's, you know, it's not a true reflection of my feelings for the category. Well, it's not a true reflection of what the category is like because my preferences are going to be skewed. I mean, I know that's true in any category, but especially in the middle grade, there's going to be so much in there that just I would not read. I would not choose to read in any other context, and so of course I'm not going to enjoy it. I mean, not always, but you know what I'm trying to say. So the final round starts on the 29th of November and closes on the 4th of December, and then the winners are announced on the 8th of December. So of course I'm not going to finish this reading challenge before the winners are announced. I never do, but I will decide my categories at least before then. And I guess I need to decide which categories I'm going to vote in and which books I'm going to vote for. So yeah, I think I've got time to finish The Final Empire and read, not The Final Empire, The Lost Metal, and read Stella Loon before, yeah, I've got 14 days to read those 2 books before actually I've got 12 days before the opening round closes, so I'll at least read those 2 before I make my decision on what I'm going to vote for. But that was my reaction, and this footage is already nearly half an hour, so maybe I'll end up posting this as a standalone video and then you can weigh in on what categories I should read. In fact, do you know what? I am going to do that. So my intro to this is totally wrong. This is just a reaction video and probably not that interesting of a one, to be honest, but here we are. So yeah, if you have any particular view on what you would like me to read for this upcoming Goodreads Choice Awards reading challenge, then let me know. I will do fantasy, I think. Whether or not I do another category alongside, we shall see. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any particular strong feelings either way about any of the nominees, let me know. And if you have any predictions of what's going to end up in the final round, let me know that as well. And that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this from me, then do think about hitting that subscribe button, and I hope to see you here again soon. Thanks. Bye.